If you are not using Instagram stories or you want to be using them more effectively, this video is for you. I feel like Instagram stories are an overlooked piece of the social media component. And I have noticed a direct correlation to the amount of activity that I get on my Instagram account with whether or not I am consistently posting stories. And stories can be tricky because I think we have a tendency as agents to overthink them. And the good thing about stories is they only last 24 hours. So it is a great way to test your content. And if something does well in stories, chances are it's going to do really well as either a reel or a carousel. And I use stories a lot for testing, but the number one reason that I post in stories is simply to get interaction. And by interaction, I mean people liking it, people responding to it. And oftentimes it has nothing to do with real estate. I try to make a conscious effort to post throughout the day in my stories. But honestly, even if you get one story a day, that is perfectly acceptable in terms of getting activity within your account. And I find a lot of times when I post my dogs on Instagram stories, I get a lot of responses from my audience. I am friends with a lot of dog lovers. A lot of my clients are dog lovers. So it makes sense and tracks why people are interacting with that. And stories are really a place where people can connect with you and learn more about you. And I think it also takes the pressure off of you if you are maybe a little hesitant about posting on social media, feeling a little self conscious in your head about it. Again, stories, 24 hours. You really don't have anything to lose by posting in your stories. And it's a place where conversations can start. And I don't mean in the form of getting leads, although something else that I do on stories, two examples that I use regularly with the intention of generating leads is putting up polls. That's always popular for stories. And then also letting people know if I am doing video home value updates that day. It's just a simple post. I'll show myself actually preparing to do the video home value updates. And then saying, if you're wondering what your home is worth, I'm doing video home value updates for my clients today. Let me know if you'd like one too. And I get a lot of takers on that, not from my clients because they know they're getting it from me, but from people who are somehow within my community on Instagram. And it's just another touch point. Something else that people tend to have strong reactions to is snacks. I snack a lot. I love finding new snacks, trying new snacks. Trader Joe's is one of my go to places. And I typically share something that I have snagged on my latest run to Trader Joe's. I try random snacks from there. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're terrible. And it gets strong opinions from people when I poll them and say, hey, what do you think of my recent one was strawberry yogurt covered almonds? And people either love them or hate them. So just getting that interaction going on with your audience, it is to me a simpler way to generate conversations because you can really be low effort on your stories. Stories can be very organic. I think people connect with them more when they are versus something that is highly produced or that you've put a ton of thought in. It's a good place to get started on Instagram, but it's also a place where agents sort of fall off and I understand it. I do it too. I get so focused on, okay, what content am I going to be posting this week that sometimes I will have gone an entire day. I showed a house, I went to a listing appointment, I did something real estate related just like every other day, and I totally forget to post it. So it's getting in the habit of documenting your day. And I'm not saying that you should post, 20 stories a day. I actually don't think you should because when people see that there's so many stories posted, it gets overwhelming to them and they just click off of it. But anywhere from 1 to 4, I feel like is a really good sweet spot to have on your stories, and definitely aim for that goal of one Not to say that I hit that goal every day either. I absolutely don't. Sometimes there is a day where there's nothing up on my stories for anyone to see, but that's pretty rare. And even if you have a day where, let's say you're working from home and you're working on a fall guide, we're almost in fall. That's what made me think of it. And you could post a story saying, I'm finishing up my fall guide of, for me, it would be Northern Virginia. Let me know if you'd like a copy. And if somebody messages you before you finish it, let them know, hey, I'm just putting the finishing touches on this and I'll send it to you later this afternoon. People love to know what's going on in their city. And if you are providing that information, that's providing value. And simply documenting yourself creating that guide, just take some B-roll of yourself working in Canva or typing on your computer, and then you can offer that up to your audience. Another thing that I like to do with stories, and it's something that I need to be more consistent on because it really does well every single time, is saying, hey, I've got 15 minutes and I'm going to open it up. Ask me anything. And the questions that people ask, it's definitely not all real estate related, which I think makes it really fun. People come up with some really great questions and people are curious. They like to know more about us. We're real estate agents. We are public facing. And within that, we have to be willing to share at least something about ourselves and our lives, because if not, we're just another real estate agent. We're not giving them something to connect with. And stories is a great way to organically do that. I really do strongly believe that based off the data that I track on my account every single week, posting in your stories makes a big difference on the activity on your account. And if you are going to be generating leads or working to learn how to generate leads on Instagram, you have got to track your numbers. And I know it's boring, but you have to be able to determine what does and doesn't work on your account. And even the things that don't work, let's say you make a post and it flops, or maybe you post a story and it just doesn't get much interaction or even likes, that's okay. That's still good data for you because it's telling you, well, this really did not land with my audience. So I'm either going to tweak it a little bit and try it again, or I'm going to scrap it all together. And the more that you do that, you're stacking every week, getting that knowledge of what is going to hit with your audience. So you're essentially always testing and then improving from there because you've got the data that's telling you what is and isn't working with your audience. And stories are no different. You can track your insights from your stories. And a lot of times, I don't even need to do that. I can tell simply by the number of likes and the number of comments that I've gotten and I'm going back and forth on in my DMs of whether or not it's a topic that people are interested in. It does not have to be complicated. Make it a conscious effort when you are going along throughout your day to get a picture, get video, and this can also be repurposed. It's good for your stories in the immediate moment, but it can also be repurposed down the road. I also like to do a beginning of the month. I'll recap the previous month, and having all of those pictures and video in my phone that I've taken that I used on stories is always helpful to then pull that post together. So it's really being mindful throughout your day of getting content. And some days you're going to feel like doing it more than others. I think that's completely normal. That certainly happens to me. But if you've also gotten content from, let's say, the previous 5 days, maybe you haven't posted all of that. You could still use some of that, even if you're not doing it right in that moment, to post on your stories. Personally, I rarely post real time on my stories because I don't like people to know my location, particularly when I am out showing houses or running errands in the area. So I'll wait until after I've completed everything and then start posting on my stories. I could be a little paranoid. I just know that, people can be a little strange. And as real estate agents, we are already an active target in general. So be sure to keep your safety in mind too when you're posting. My point is, you have content sitting in your phone. And if you are planting that seed in your mind of, I need to get content on a daily basis or 6 days a week, whatever your goal is starting out, do that. And then you already have it in your phone to post on your stories. Do not forget your stories. It is, I'm going to say it's a must as part of your Instagram strategy because my traffic is drastically different if I just make a post versus if I make a post and I'm in stories. And of course, it's also commenting and not just consuming content, but actually commenting on others. All of that creates this total package for being successful on Instagram. And they all really tie into one another because let's face it, Instagram wants us on their app as much as possible. So it makes sense. But I think that stories are just often overlooked and maybe even not talked about in terms of level of importance enough because they really do make a difference, not just on your insights, which, yes, that is important, but it also gets conversations going. And if someone feels some type of way about my Trader Joe's snack, I want to hear about it. Those are the conversations that I want to have, I like to have, because it keeps me top of mind and has nothing to do about real estate. I'm not selling anything. I'm literally just trying to have conversations within my DMs. I hope you got some value from this today. Let me know if you start posting on your stories and see better insights on your Instagram account. And if you're not using stories, get started on that as soon as possible. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.